at the end of the day, everything about you and your makeup is bringing you to a place and a space that God designed for you to be in. And a lot of time it takes a preparedness so that when we get to that place, we know how to handle that place. And we don't fumble that place. We don't fumble the ball. We don't, So when we're talking about, enjoying the process, about who you're becoming in the process versus you getting there at the place of success, purpose, driven goals and things of that nature. It's more important about the person that you're becoming in the process. And everything is always leading back to a prepared purpose that God has already planned for you. So it's like scripture, he does, He does the beginning from the end, so to speak. And I didn't know that. I was listening to somebody, and I don't know how true this is, so Blueprint Nation don't come for us. So putting it on the record, I had research that I just heard somebody say this, thought just popped in my head. That I heard that they make movies backwards. Like they create the end scene first, and then they filter the movie all the way back to the beginning that leads up to the end scene. I just heard this like within the last couple of weeks. So it's like God's purpose and plan for your life has already been set. He's just peeling back the layers and peeling back the seams for you to get there.
The B2S podcast is brought to you by Motivated Apparel. Motivated Apparel, the premier gear for motivation. A brand that motivates, inspires, and empowers you to stay motivated while chasing your dreams. Head on over to www.shiftmotivations.com/shop Motivated Apparel and grab yourself some Motivated Apparel today.
What it do? Hey, welcome to another episode of the Blueprint to Success podcast. Once again, we are excited and delighted and honored to be joined with you on tonight. We got another live one for you. And it's your boy, Mike Mariner, a.k.a. the Chef Motivator. Once again, joined together tonight with my brother from another mother, Mr. Dumbo.
Hey.
Mr. Like Me.
Yeah.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
Y'all give it up for my homie, man, my brother from another mother, Alexander Hall.
Yo. Blueprint Nation, what's going on, man?
Goes wild.
It's going all the way.
I see dead people.
Y'all crazy.
It's giving all the way vibes.
Yo, what's going
What's
on,
good, bro?
Man, you already know, man. You already know how we do.
Slide through the week. Skirt.
Hey, I can't even cap. Shoot, trucking through the week.
Yeah, midweek, hump day.
My junk, like, it's that line right before the E.
Quarter tank.
Like that.
Time to refuel.
It's all right, though, man. It's all right,
Be like that sometimes.
Working hours in the lab last night with Diamond. Chopping it up.
What we got cooking? What we got cooking? Oh, we talk about that before we turn the mics on.
What time are you cooking?
What time are we cooking? What's this for dinner?
No, honestly, to be real, he was on, some things how we just did before we cut the camera on.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
When you go through stuff, you gotta dial back and you gotta fill your people in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they can, get you with their blade, get you, calibrate.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's it though, man. Just in of course we went over some stuff, but I didn't create nothing. I was just catching it. It was more fellowship.
I was about to say fellowship. Yeah.
It was fellowship.
It's needed, man.
Yeah, it's needed. Like
Those times.
you can't be on
Mm-hmm.
you can't be on business all the time.
Mhm.
Even with your girl, you can't be on business all the time, budgeting and what we gonna. Sometimes you just gotta chill.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's you can be in the moment, right? So we just caught up, because he got busy life. He got a baby, Noah, 3 or 4 now, so he running around.
Keeps them
He got
occupied.
Yeah.
daughters, they got friends, and
Yeah.
they getting older. So, everybody got life, and life is moving. So,
Yeah.
just catching up, man. But I want to say I appreciate both y'all
Oh, it's all love,
talking
bro.
to me, man.
We got you, dog.
All love,
Yeah,
bro.
before
That's what we're here for.
I appreciate
Listen.
that, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Listen, when
Doc,
we
Dr.
fool,
Dr. Hall.
Dr. Hall, you know what? I had signed up for Southeastern, and I think I was gonna go to Liberty University, but at least I signed up for. I had to make that. I ain't even I had to make
Right.
that step.
yeah.
That's what exactly what I said. I don't know what guy got behind the door, because sometimes he'll tell me to go through this door and I go there, skirt.
Yeah, so at least I know. It's already in my calendar
Yeah.
for me to. What they call me today, so I'm gonna hit them and then sign up, see what's going on with them. Liberty University.
I think Tim got his degrees from both of those. He got one from Liberty and one from Southeastern.
Patrick Tim.
My FCA,
Okay,
FCA
yeah.
buddy, yeah.
Yeah. So
If I
I'm
remember right, yeah.
gonna start there with the biblical studies.
Yeah.
And shoot, depending on how it goes, I could have that first one knocked out. I don't think by the end of this year, but probably first quarter next year.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna just go from there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what's
so
up,
you keep
yeah.
calling me Dr. Hall. The only doctor in my family is my Uncle Rod. Like, he a legit doctor.
Mm-hmm.
So
dope.
yeah, nobody else is like bossed up like that. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna be the next one.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. All of us going back to school.
Yeah.
At Blueprint
Yeah,
Nation,
yeah.
we all going back to hit the books.
Yeah,
We're
yes.
going
back
back.
college.
And trust me, this ain't nothing we just decided to do. It's something that
the blue.
God tapped on that shoulder and just
it's
said,
like,
Excuse me.
you got something to finish.
yeah.
For real.
Basically, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's what's up, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, that's what's up, man. Y'all know what it is, Blueprint Nation.
What's happening?
Hey, this crazy guy to my right,
What's going on?
your left,
We got it.
Mr. Big Bag,
We getting it.
Big Dub.
1,000.
Mr.
Always
Bag on the
getting
way.
it.
Oh boy.
If I ain't got it, I can go get it
No count.
anytime.
Lowercase.
Mr. Levy Holds up. Y'all give it up for my brother from the same mother.
Yo.
Big Bag, Big Dub.
Yo.
Boy, Wonder.
It's crazy how our lives intertwine so much.
It's crazy. It's
Like-
crazy.
And it's crazy how you feel that to go, because I wanted to go to Polk, but I was just like, man, I'm going to Polk. I ain't really getting no traction, but I'm going to South Florida State College, and it's just like, man, that's just inching. Even if it's every 2 weeks communication, it's still it's still progress. So it's like, should I just allow myself to wait and just hold out and just wait for convenience that can possibly be another 2 years down the road that I could already be done here? Or just drive a little 35, 40 minutes and be about the business. So it's crazy how life intertwined like that, bro.
I found out you get more done by going down there.
Yeah.
That's what I found out. Yeah, whatever you need, just go there.
Yeah.
Sign in, talk with who you need to talk to. So I'm like, I'm noticing the pattern.
Yes.
Emails don't work.
Phone calls. You may catch one. If you do.
I ain't never called nobody on the phone.
I called one. I had one phone call.
That's it. I ain't never called nobody. I was like, let me go down here. Because I ain't, I'm like, I don't want to do this, but I'm going to be obedient. And start the process to go back and get this degree. And see where it's going to go.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. I'll be looking to start in the fall. And so my window will be kind of like from August to December.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll be able to finish 3 classes and then finish my other 3 prereqs. So I'm excited, man. We also finished the squad video. So I'll be putting that in your hands once we get that,
Yeah, I saw the post y'all had put up.
It's coming out nice.
Yo.
Shout out to my dog Elliot, aka knowledge, indeed.
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 Yes, and also Love and Loyalty is out as well, working on visuals for that. And then the Kingdom Builders compilation. So that's what we leading off with the record with. So with the squad.
Mm-hmm.
So just show the unison and the forefront, and then of course we'll be having other individual visuals, with that too. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be nice, man. I'm excited. I'm just moving and grooving and being at peace with how God moving.
Yeah.
That's it at the end of the day.
Yeah. You. Yeah.
Oh,
I knew you were gonna do that.
on your side.
Oh man, boy. Yeah, man. Let's see what. I don't know when this episode gonna come out. So, cause we're playing. Don't forget, we always pre-record everything, and so probably be a couple of episodes out. But we got the spring game this week. Actually, not the actual spring game, but the blue and gold game, the inner scrimmage. So, looking forward to that. Also, looking forward to get through it because it's really a big deal. A lot of work behind the scenes, though.
Oh yeah.
So, which he's going to be performing again.
Facts. It's gonna be fun. I enjoyed last year, man. Got a lot of really good feedback.
Yeah.
I was just like, man, people that you might have not even thought was listening. You know what I'm saying? It's just like it goes back to performing one-on-one. You know what I'm saying? Don't be moved by the facials.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just go out there, kill it, do what you do, and then the results will come later. And it's just like people are just constantly coming up. So it was really encouraging. So I look forward to this one.
Yeah.
And I get to do more this time. So
yeah, that's the more I kept meditating on it, it's like, man, maybe I do a mesh this time. Maybe kind of like do the mesh thing. But, whatever you feel. But that's why I was kind of like just meditating. Like, give me a little taste of this, a little bit taste of that.
a little appetizer.
You get a little bit this, you get a little bit of that. You know what I'm saying?
A little bit of that? Okay, I'm going to give you that. Yeah, I'll be back. I'm looking forward to it, bro. I'm really am.
Yeah. So, man, 2025, man, we almost, maybe about 5 months in, almost half the year.
It's crazy.
It's crazy, dog. Man, we just losing people left and right, dog.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I'm almost seeing the RIP. It seems like almost every week.
Yeah, literally.
From somebody. Man, the world ain't waiting for nobody.
At all.
The world ain't waiting for nobody, man. So, but just kind of mulling over like some of the stuff that we was talking about beforehand, and dealing with resilience and purpose and planning and stuff like that. And one of the things that we always try to do is be an encouraging voice to those that are willing to listen, and so wherever you are in your life and, plans and goals and dreams and desires, at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is what God has purposed you for. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times it's hard to realize that in the moment because you're trying to figure things out. You have these dreams, you have these thoughts, these goals, these wants, desires, but at the end of the day, everything about you and your makeup is bringing you to a place and a space that God designed for you to be in. Yeah. And a lot of time it takes a preparedness so that when we get to that place, we know how to handle that place. And we don't fumble that place. We don't fumble the ball. We don't, So when we're talking about, enjoying the process, about who you're becoming in the process versus you getting there at the place of success, purpose, driven goals and things of that nature. It's more important about the person that you're becoming in the process. And everything is always leading back to a prepared purpose that God has already planned for you. Mm-hmm. So it's like Scripture, he does, what is it? He does the beginning from the end, so to speak. And I didn't know that. I was listening to somebody, and I don't know how true this is, so Blueprint Nation don't come for us. So putting it on the record, I hadn't researched it. I just heard somebody say this, thought just popped in my head. That I heard that they make movies backwards. Like they create the end scene first, and then they filter the movie all the way back to the beginning that leads up to the end scene. I just heard this like within the last couple of weeks. So it's like God's purpose and plan for your life has already been set. He's just peeling back the layers and peeling back the scenes for you to get there. So um, with that in mind, because we look at like world and everything that's going on today, and people that we're circulated around, things that we do, things that we become a part of. As you get older, taste buds change, desires change, lifestyle changes. Everything just seemed to change, and it's, especially now that I'm getting old, it's like my tolerance and my patience is like it's like real thin, respectfully. you know, so let's maybe start here. I don't know what you fellas got, but I'm just kind of talking right now. But um, how important is the preparation process? And I'm starting there because it's like I said, we want things, and a lot of times we're not prepared for where actually God is taking us. So He has to take us through these series of processes in order so that we can have longevity in the place that where He's taking us. Because at the end of the day, I mean, man, through all the hell I've been through, I would still say I'm appreciative of it because it made me who I am. The resilient part that people know about me wouldn't have existed had not I was disciplined enough to go through that stuff.
Right.
I wasn't a track star as bad as I wanted to be. Just it's like it was always something just pulling me through. You know what I'm saying? It's like almost like a magnetic force, and I just kind of went with it. So I really never, me personally, I never really fought against it. It was just there,
Yeah.
in a sense for me, and then it began to cultivate. So I would say maybe we can start there, and then whatever you guys got in your notes or whatever, and we can shift however we need to shift. So I'm just kind of rolling with it. But like, how would you say once again how important is really being prepared for where you're going? Because even though you don't know where you're going, a lot of times we don't know where we're going.
Exactly. Yeah.
The Bible said that the just shall live by faith. So faith requires a belief in something that's not even there yet. You know what I'm saying? It's not in reach. And so it's like, how do you prepare for something that you're not even know you're being prepared for? So it's like, how important is that?
That's very important. One is the foundation. I look at it as its location too. Um, how do you know the old saying you say, how do you know what you're looking for if you never finding what you're searching for? Um, so for example, for me, how I communicate with the Lord is basically a little upon small details, it's clues. But when you think of how we was talking off camera, when you got a cake, how do you know what it takes to actually not only bake the cake, but get the good feeling, the sensation, the great taste that you desire to see from it? Because we as humans, pretty much naturally, we always want the end result. We don't care about the steps. We don't care about the ingredients. We don't care how much it takes. We don't care about none of that. We just know this is what we want, and we want it now. And I think preparation teaches us patience. It teaches us steps for the next stage that we're not even yet entered into, because it's teaching you not only how to be resilient, but it's teaching you how to prepare for certain situations that you're not ready for or that you don't have the tools for. So how do you know what to combat if you don't even know where to start? So for me, preparation is everything. Like preparation is basically I'm looking at everything I need to get and I'm going after what I need to get in order to start the preparation of what I'm looking forward to or what I'm moving towards. So with the details, for example, like with school, just seeing little progress, but doing the necessary things to talk to my advisor, to be communicative with my emails, to be proactive. Preparation requires us to be proactive, but we like to sit back and is, you know.
Be reactive.
You done with it? Oh, it ain't ready yet? Okay, cool. And this where and this is a whole different stuff. This is where everybody comes to the table want to eat, but don't want to clean the dishes, don't even want to try to help set up the table for what we're trying to prepare. So preparation is not only key, but it's vital because it's one of the main layers of foundation that's needed in order to build upon what you're going after or seeking towards. Uh, Preparation also reveals things that you're not ready for too. It also reveals that things that you have to customly work towards and work on. Um, and for me, preparation is, I don't care what stage or where I'm at in life, that is always a part of my process. You can't negate preparation because there's always going to be another stage that you're not preferably ready for, quote unquote, but you know how to handle it in different pieces because there's always going to be some similarity from a previous preparation stage that you learned that you can go into the next one because that's what it's prepared you for. Preparation is pretty much catapulting. It's perpetual. It's continuous. So I got to have that part of my process. If I don't, then I don't know what I'm looking for. I don't know what I'm missing. How can I figure out within that stage what I'm looking for if I never took the just the time to sit, reflect? Okay, I done jumped to step 11, but I done missed 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I think preparation it has to be a part of the process, and there's a power in preparation that I think we overlook.
That's good. That's good. Yeah.
There's a power to it.
Yeah, as I look at, says prepared purpose is generally means having a specific goal or intention that has been carefully thought out and planned for beforehand. It implies that someone has taken the necessary steps to make themselves ready for this is what I like right here. It says, it implies that someone has taken the necessary steps to make themselves ready for a particular outcome or action. But I found myself lately in questions and conversations, or in conversations to where questions have been asked or spoken about or said. I don't know what the end goal is. I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what I want to be. I don't know what I want to become. So at that point, it's like, how do you prepare for something that you don't even know exists or being prepared for? So how do you answer that question?
So something like that. Okay, so
Dr.
That's a good question.
yeah,
I'm telling you, like literally for the
really
last, I don't know how many weeks I've engaged in multiple conversations with people, kids and adults, have been kind of like in that boat to where I just don't know. I just don't know. So it's so let's tap that.
All right, so if I can come from the house on this one and be vulnerable,
You
right?
put your mic up a little bit.
Yeah, so if I can come from the house on this one, thank you, and be vulnerable. So the best way that I can be tangible with the answer, as for like an illustration,
Do what you do, bro.
right? So my last relationship, right? The individual who I was with, it ended, and she stepped out of the marriage, right? So she moved back here, but I stayed in Fort Myers. So I was up there, I was working, paying bills and stuff like that. I was still going to school. The only reason why I came back is my father got sick. He got really sick. So I came back to be one of his caregivers. So the whole time I was out there, I was married, but separated. But I was married. So just because the person who I was married to wasn't there, it didn't go away with the fact that I was married.
I see where you're going with this.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so when I talk to people
Mm-hmm.
about that type of thing,
Yeah.
I go straight there with it. I'm married to God first.
Mm-hmm.
I'm married to this individual second. They're not here, but I'm still married to both of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I still got to be loyal to both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Even and it doesn't matter if the other person who I'm married to is loyal to me or not at this moment,
Mm-hmm.
because I got to account for what I told God at the altar,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Facts.
So I had to follow through with the whole process. Didn't get no girls' phone numbers, didn't grab no booties, didn't go to the club, didn't binge on pornography, didn't go get drunk every other night. I acted just as if she was living with me and I was committing myself to the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Was it tough at times? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Pop called me one night. He called me one night, right? This guy. You gotta love your children because they just say your children just say whatever they want to say to you when they feel like they have a safe space to do so.
Mm.
So sometimes it's a gift and encouragement because my son be saying stuff. I be like, you really just asked me that? So he said, so daddy, you by yourself up there? I said, yeah, Pop, it's just me. He said, okay. He said, like, by yourself? I said, yeah. He said, you don't get lonely? Like, you don't be lonely? I said, okay. I said, you know what?
That's Pop.
So I said, Pop, you know what, Pop? I said, because I'm the only person who's here and I'm by myself, a side effect of being by yourself sometimes is you feel lonely.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I say, but I spend a lot of time with God, so I'm not alone.
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
That's what I told him. That's what I fed to him.
Mm.
So I said, do you understand what I'm talking about? He paused. He said, yeah, I think so. I said, well, you'll learn. Right? So I go through that whole process of sticking to the marriage. Even when I moved her down, my dad still didn't date no girls, didn't chase no tail. And I was married up until the day we went to the courthouse and I signed the divorce papers.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Now, fast forward. New relationship years later, right? And now when something happens, when I have adversity, when it's me, my new partner, and it's a male in a situation that don't need to be in a situation, but it's technicality in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the same thing as that, but it's the same thing. Some outside source is intruding in my relationship once again.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been through that before.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm already prepared. I'm more prepared now how to handle the situation because of what just came from. Did I know that I was going to have to use that? I had no idea.
Right.
I had no idea. I had no idea I was going to have to once again deal with somebody else from the outside of my relationship being somehow, some way in the middle of my relationship, right?
Yeah.
They had no idea. So, but I knew this. I knew as soon as the situation came up, I went right back to where I came from, where I've been here before.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I know how to respond.
Mm-hmm.
And my response is not gonna be that the response that she is looking that she is gonna blow her mind because I know how I need to respond.
Mm-hmm.
I've been here before. As a matter of fact, I'm not even all that mad because I done been mad before. I done been all that before, but I do need to address it how I need to because of the situation at hand. But I done been here before.
Mm-hmm.
But I was prepared for this, but I didn't sign up to be prepared for this.
Right.
Life just happened and I had to pull from it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's good.
So sometimes you're not going to know what is going to happen up ahead, but what you have to do is fully commit yourself and go through whatever it is that you're going through.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember what I said, she left, I was still married.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I didn't leave the marriage and the relationship. I got released.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a certain
That's good.
blessing.
That's a difference.
It's a certain blessing that comes when you being released from a situation. You
Mm-hmm.
get see. So here we go. Right.
Straight from the house.
Yeah, I didn't break away from it. I got released from it. I've never ran from a relationship.
Wow. Boy.
Facts.
As much hell as every female done put me through, starting with my son's mom, then that one, then me making dumb decisions, and then this, that. I've never ran from. I never ran out the relationship, right? So when y'all telling me like, yo, anchor down, no, this one got purpose. Okay, I feel you. I got you. You know what I'm saying? But for me not running out, I walked through this one, that last one, and I went through what I went through, and I got released from it. So when you get released from something, you're able, like, your heart is in a different position than when you just break off of something.
Right.
Right.
It's different. It's different. So now I have the mind frame to go back and look at the relationship and see what I did and messed up at,
Right.
which gave me more grace. But yeah, so I didn't know I was gonna go through that.
Mm-hmm.
Had no idea, bro. So you're not going to know, but everything has. I say this all the time. God is the only person who I know who made better lemonade than Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, bring the Chick-fil-A lemonade into it.
For real.
Chick-fil-A.
You know what I'm saying? I went through that process and I got released from it. Since I got released from it, it came with certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Yo.
I had different perspective on certain things. You know what I mean? It gave me room to look back and like, okay, I messed up here. When it's like, okay, I took accountability.
Mm-hmm.
A little quick disclaimer: accountability is the number one ingredient for healing. You cannot heal. You won't heal until you take accountability for what you did in a situation.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is not everybody else's fault.
Mm-hmm.
It's not.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So once I did that, oh, so she felt like that. Oh, I didn't know she felt that way. Oh, okay, I shouldn't have said that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I made her feel like that. Oh, okay. So I was able to extend grace, and that helped remove any animosity, any hate of anything.
Mm-hmm.
If I were to see her right now, she would get embraced.
Mm-hmm.
A certain type of way. I can't be like, you know what I'm saying? But
Right,
I'm
right.
like, what's going on? How you doing, man? You know what I mean? Like, I ain't tripping. Everybody, bro, I knew something was different when somebody came to me and was like, man, I heard about you, because I heard about what happened. I said, bro, you know what? I said, man, I said, she was just doing that the moment what she thought was best for her, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So she was just like everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
When your mind is there, your heart is there, you ain't anchored, you just doing what you feel like is best for yourself in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt like what I did was best in the moment too.
Mm-hmm.
But I was in a different space than she was in too.
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
Right? So sometimes you're not gonna know where you're going, and you're not gonna prepare. Like when you're going through stuff, you're like, man, I didn't trust me, I did not go through that. Oh God, yeah. Oh no, son. Let me go ahead and try to get cheated on so I can use this later on. No, no. Then you
I'm
know,
gonna go heal the world with my testimony.
Yeah, number 2, number 3. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
you don't do stuff like
Right.
that. But what happens is if something else comes up, you've been able to recognize that stuff and pull from it and put with it. That's what wisdom is. Okay, I've been there. Wisdom is not getting a whole bunch of knowledge and then just letting it sit there. That's not how it works.
Mm-hmm.
You get the knowledge, and when you apply it, that's wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I've been here before.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what? I don't know completely where her heart and her mind is at or what's going on with this, but I'm finna respond this way because I want the best possible outcome regardless.
Mm-hmm.
So you never know where it's gonna come from. So that's just one of them things to where sometimes you have to just go through whatever that you're going through, and when situations arise, be mindful and be able to recognize what's going on around you, and use that stuff. Use the good things that you learn from those bad situations. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hey, I got a question. It's kind of like a loaded question, but at the same time, like, what is it about us as men? And I know everybody's in a different place, just in general, just as men.
Yeah.
But what is it about men in general, preparation wise, that gives us the strength to stay in a relationship that's not willing to waver, not willing to move, no matter through hell and high water? Like, what kind of preparation do you think that takes to get to that point? Because for me personally, I realized that like in 2018, to where I had that realization. I was like, okay, wow. I realized I'm always staying, and I'm willing to stay. I'm willing to work through. I'm willing to fight for this. What kind of preparation does it take for a man to even get to that state?
Go ahead, Doc.
Well,
Paging
The
Dr.
kind of
Hall.
preparation,
Yeah,
because
I feel you.
it's still preparation that you don't even know that you need,
I feel
or
you.
can't even recognize the type of preparation
Yeah.
that you have to do to get to that point.
I think most of that is it's just how a person is wired. Some people have it naturally. Some people have to learn to do it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, because at the end of the day, you're gonna have you can't run forever.
Right.
And because if you run forever, then you're forever not gonna have nothing. And if you want to do something called marriage, the way God put it together, correct me if I'm wrong, one of them vows say to death do us part.
Yeah.
And you can't die with someone or die in a covenant with someone gracefully if you don't know how to be planted there. Everything is not gonna be sweet while you is there, but it can get better if you stay planted, right? So some people just have that honest in their system.
Yeah.
And some people have to work at that thing. So and that's like that's not in prepare beforehand type of thing.
Right.
That's a prepare during type of thing.
That's good.
Like it's a yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? It's a continuous, it's in the moment. That's an in the moment type of thing. You can't prepare for, oh, let me prepare not to, no, it's either when something happens, you're gonna run out. Okay, and then you get your girl, you get your girl right. Something happened, are you gonna run out this time? I know.
Right.
It's in the moment. What you gonna do? And the more that you make your decision, the more your girl build in that area.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So I think it's like an in the moment type of thing, bro. Now, your heart posture is something that you work on off season. Heart posture is an off season thing.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like on your off time, the counseling that you do, you reading your word, the stuff that you do when you're not with your mate, that help you with your mate. When you in the weight room, that help you for the game. When you in the gym shooting, when you bricking, that help you with your shot. It helps you with your release. That's for the game. You're not in practice for practice. You're in practice for the game.
Facts.
You're in the gym for the game. You're not in the gym for the gym.
Come on, dog.
That make no sense, right?
Nope.
So,
Ooh.
yeah.
Because there's a level of discipline that comes from that.
Yeah.
When you realize that it's not just for the gym. Because if it's just for the gym, you're gonna feel like it's a chore versus an alteration of a lifestyle.
Relationship. The hardest thing about relationship is learning how to be relational. Is learning how to be relational, bro. And that takes work and that takes time. Some people can't be relational with themselves. There's so much stuff going on. There's so much war going on.
Yeah, so much trauma.
There's so much, bro. I be praying for my mind state every day. And I ain't no off type of person. But whatever type of calling you got. Like whatever type of thing that's placed on your life, like whatever type of stature you got with your family, like whatever type of value you bring, them devils is coming. That adversity is coming because it want to keep you off, it want to hold you down. You know what I mean? So it depends on what's going on. The hardest thing is to be relational. That's the hardest thing.
Never lied.
To be relational. Like, and I don't care what nobody say. Being relational is the hardest thing, bro. How can we navigate this thing? How can we navigate my mind and my heart with your mind and one heart going in the same direction without us clashing? And sometimes clashing is needed. Because, bro, everything goes back to the great book. As iron sharp as iron, one person sharp as another. That's in Proverbs chapter 27. It also says in there, it said, but paraphrasing, it says something on the lines of, as water, no, as something like, as water reflects one's face, one person's life reflects their heart. As water reflects your face, one person's life reflects their heart. So basically, in the nut, that's right. It's right.
Proverbs 27:19.
Yeah, 27:19. So basically, is however that you're living, you're showing me what your heart is made of. Whatever that you're doing, you're showing me what your heart is made of. However that you're moving, you're showing me what your heart is made of.
Man.
That's a complete relational thing. That's relational. How you acting towards me, how you treating me, how are we getting along, how when I piss you off, how are you gonna react towards me? How are you gonna correct me something that you don't like when you're extremely mad at me? How are you gonna do it? Because how you do it, it shows me how you really think and what you care about me.
Yep.
Can you stand me when you're pissed off at me? Can you? Can you respect me when I just disrespected you? Can you?
That's a hard pill to swallow for a lot of people right there, boy.
I'm telling you. That's like that. That's that horse pill.
My girl told me one day, she said, I knew you were different when I told you such and such, and you looked at me calm and was like, we need to pray right now. She said, that's when I knew it was different.
Because she's looking for the same thing that she's experiencing.
She said, when you did that, she said, oh yeah, he different. It's different. It's different. It's different.
Yeah.
I said, we need to pray.
Right.
Right now. I want you right now. Right now.
Let me go and take a little.
Shouts out to what KP.
I love that record.
But yeah, that's what it's different. But that's the hardest thing, bro, to being relational. So the things that we do off season, how we work on ourselves, how we work on our minds, and how we work on our hearts, and how we help our mates do it too. That's what keep you in there.
Yeah.
That's what keep you in there. When there's something that you just don't want to let go and it's good, like, I don't want to give up on you, dog. I see it. I done tapped the vein. It's good in there. I don't want to give up on you.
Right.
But if I got to go, I'm out the door. I'm just saying. But yeah, but that's what keep a person in there, bro. When you don't want to, it's naturally in you because you're made to be a husband. Husbands don't. You're made to be a husband. Some people just got it in them. They just got it. Some people got their voice naturally. Some people need a lot of vocal training. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just in there, like it's just in there. But what you do off season, that's what keep you not giving up on that person.
I'm glad you went that route, man. Like what you do in the off season, because like in preparedness, like you spend more time practicing for the game than actually playing the game. So you put in hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of time for, let's just take one sport, 1 hour. You're in the gym practicing, you're putting up shots. Hours up on the day for what's the NBA? 15-minute quarters? 20 minutes?
20, 25, I don't know.
15, I believe.
So, but just round figure for the sake, an hour. So you put in hours and hours of time for an hour. So you're preparing 60, 70, 80 hours maybe in a week for 1 hour. That's a lot of preparation. And then I heard somebody say there's a difference between me shooting 100 shots than me making 100 shots.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a big difference.
Big difference.
Huge difference.
Two different mindsets. Oh yeah, coach, I just went in and put up 100 shots. Oh, all right, good. All right, cool. I just went in, I made 100 shots. Well, how many did you put up? 500. I just saw a video the other day. I don't know who the young man was, but he was an NFL guy. And I don't remember
oh my gosh. I just caught what you said.
And
Oh my gosh.
bro, it's different.
It is.
Your preparation process is different. So and I'm going somewhere with this because you got to prepare to be a husband before you become a husband.
Yeah.
You do that in the off season.
Yep.
You got to prepare to be a wife before you become a wife.
Yep.
So all the heartache, the trials and tribulations that you learned from previous relationships, it should have prepared you for where you're going. So you can't respond to your new boo the same way you responded to your old boo.
Exactly.
You can't do that. You should have learned something in the off season. You should have learned something in the off season that prepared you. When the greats, when Jordan, when Kobe, like them other guys, you know, the Chamberlains, all, you know, the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, when them guys won the championship, what did they do in the off? The Emmitt Smiths, when the off season came, they really didn't enjoy it. They went right back into work because they already know the season is coming, and I'm not going to give room for error for me to be average. And so a lot of times we want great marriages, we want great relationships, we want great jobs, we want great careers, we want great, but we're putting in the average work ethic. So we're the person that's saying I put up 100 shots and not the person that's saying I made 100 shots. Because the person that made 100 shots might have had to put up 500 to make them 100.
I was like, how long? if you make 100, you got at least shoot at least 250.
You know what I'm saying?
At least, bro.
Yeah. So, you know, the dude was like, it was a receiver, and I forgot who it was, and they was like, well, how many balls do you catch in a day? And the dude was like, you really want to know? Like, they was like, yeah. It was like, man, I'm putting up 500. 500. Give me them. Boom. Give me them. 500. Boom. Because if I want to be elite in what I do, it's mandatory. So like people with that type of mindset, it's like me. Personal development is not an option. Spiritual development is not an option. That's why I train my kids. You will not work on Sunday until you get on your own. I'm not going to condition your mind to be like everybody else and just miss church because it's that important to my spiritual growth. It is a reason why God said the importance of the fivefold ministry. And people want to, you don't need it. Yeah, go try to do trigonometry without a teacher and tell me you don't need a teacher. But we're forever saying, oh, we don't need the church. Yes, you do.
You do because how else for one, no church is perfect, right? But how else the church is supposed to be an example of how your home is supposed to be, right? How else are you supposed to know how to conduct in your home if you don't go to church?
How you know to be married if you don't talk to married people?
How?
Exactly. How to stay married.
There's something in that trigonometry teacher that you don't have. There is something in that pastor that you don't have. You know, so at the end of the day, it's needed. Everything is needed for your makeup. So if I want to be average, then guess what? I'm going to put up average shots. But if I want to be great, then I got to do what the greats do. I can't listen. The most, what they say, a wise person learns from his mistakes, but a wiser person learns from the mistakes of others. So if I'm able to sit down and have a conversation with somebody, man, how did you do that? What did you do? Now, you may have to curtail it to your liking, to your skill set. I understand that, but it doesn't deny the discipline that it takes to get to the point of where you talking about you trying to be. So I can't be talking about I want to be great, but then I put in the average work ethic. It don't work. I can't say I want to have a great mindset and then doing the work of an average person to do, then coming out. It don't work, bro. So when I was training my daughters, I said, listen, I'm gonna tell you why. I said, because here's the thing. What happens is you go to work on Sunday, then you start missing church. And then now you're as a parent, I feel like I planted that seed in you because it's already there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to teach you to sin, but I got to teach you to be good. Make that make sense?
Then that's crazy. It shows you how much work you need to put in.
You see what I'm saying? It's crazy. We come into the world knowing wrong. Like it's just in you, but I got to teach you how to be good. So I'm fit to plant a seed and tell you, no, we're not doing that. Listen. We provide everything that you need and most of what you want. Because I've always lived by the philosophy, even if I could, I'm not. Because I want to see how you respond to adversity. Mm-hmm. How do you respond when I say no? Daddy, can I? No. Even though I got the power to, I'm not. Because I'm doing you a disservice by giving you everything you want because the world don't work like that. So I'm creating a false narrative in your mind. Mm-hmm. And then guess what happens, bro? You the relationship guy, bro. It goes into your relationship because, my daddy.
And be spoiled.
My dad. So now there's a false narrative that you putting on a dude to go out here and jump through hoops unnecessarily because a false narrative was painted. Because anytime you wanted something, it was given to you.
Especially when a father doesn't discipline his daughter and let her slide, that woman grows up with the mindset of, I am not about to take accountability for the things that I do because your father didn't make you take accountability. He didn't be like, oh, you was wrong right there. Now you grow up thinking you can just do what you want to do. Mm-hmm. You can't do what you want to do. Mm-hmm. You can't.
Yeah. It's you setting them up for failure.
Yeah.
I think I shared. I made Kiara quit her job. She had got a job. See, Jackie was different. Jackie didn't get a job till she was pretty much grown. No, she was a senior year because she was working at the McDonald's right down the road. Mm-hmm. So I think it might have been a senior year in high school or something like that. So, with Kiki, but they work Sunday. We don't do that. Now Sunday evenings is fine because we didn't have church on Sunday evening. So They put you on the evening shift. I'm cool with that. But no, you're not going in Sunday morning because we don't have Sunday evening church. So, but with Kiara, I told her, I say, because I'm training them from top to bottom. This is how you conduct the interview. These are some of the things that you want to look for, that you could look for, blah, blah, blah. I say, and this is one of the things I prepared her for. I say, they're going to talk to you about scheduling. I say, so this is how you handle that. I say, because once again, we're not working we're doing church. We're not doing that. I say, this family is not doing that. I'm not going to plant that seed in you. Now, when you get grown, got your own house, live by your own rules, you can do what you want to do. But your dad and your mom is not going to plant that seed in you because people do it all the time. Mm-hmm. And then you spiritually bankrupt yourself. Man, I've heard it. Man, I ain't been to church in a month. I need to get to church because you put yourself in a position to where you had to. And I understand, trust me, I don't come for me. You gotta do what you gotta do. But these are choices that we make. So I say, you're not doing that. I say, so tell them you can work pretty much any day, but you're not working Sunday mornings. We're not doing that. So she told me she had the conversation with them. The manager was like, yeah, cool, we could, no problem. Yeah, it was no problem then till the need came up. Because see, what happens is discipline requires you to respond not based upon the need, but based upon the goal that you're searching, that you're looking to obtain.
Yeah,
that's good. That's good.
Discipline is not based upon the need, but based upon the goal that you're trying to obtain. The goal that we was trying to obtain was we not going to plant this seed. Her discipline is not based on your need. So people start calling in. They didn't have stuff here. So now all of a sudden Kiara's getting the call. I need you to come. We need put on the schedule. I need you to work there. First thing I told Isha, I said, what we talked about? One thing about me, bro, people like I'm not perfect by any means, and some things I will change my mind on. But I'm pretty disciplined. I'm pretty disciplined because when I say this is it, that's how my pops is. That's how our pops is.
For real.
If he don't want to, if he don't want to do something,
He ain't doing it.
he ain't doing it. I said that before. Even if it benefits him, even if it benefits him and those around him, if he don't want to do it, don't care if it benefit me, you, Tom, Dick, or Harry, including himself, boo boo.
He ain't lying.
He ain't doing it.
He ain't lying.
And I caught the whiff of that. So it was like, no, we not doing that. So he was like, well, baby, you know. I said, I know that. I said, this is what I said. I said, because the moment you give in,
It's a wrap.
it's a wrap. They're gonna put you back on the schedule again.
Yep.
I say, so boom. I said, you know what? I said, okay, I'm watch. I said, we can go ahead and go. Go ahead. We'll drop it off. Baby. Just so schedule came out.
Bam.
Guess who's on the schedule for Sunday? I say, you know what? I say, we ain't doing that. I said, Kira, you don't need a job. I said, I don't mind. I said, because what we're trying to do is something different. All right? We're teaching you responsibility already. So, and then because we was, and then at that time we was teaching her entrepreneur stuff. So she was, I mean, she was making stuff and coming and selling it. So it was different. You know, it wasn't just saying we just have you at home and you're not doing nothing. No. It was different. So I was like, you know what? I said, you don't need it. I said, tell them. I said, tell them you. Because matter of fact, she had to go to work. Let's just say if it was like say on Thursday. So I said we took her to work. I said, when you go to work tonight, I say if the manager don't want to take you out the schedule, I said because we're not doing that. I said just tell her this is gonna be your last night. And maybe you'll check. And that's what we did. That's exactly what we did. Because they was like, well, we need you. No. My discipline is not based on your need. I already told you that this is my availability. I'm not working on Sundays. I'm not working on Sundays. That's time. That's my designated time to give my time to God. I'm not working on Sundays.
That, bro, I want to.
Go ahead, dog.
Bro.
That's deep. People don't understand how deep that is, dog.
My discipline is not dependent on your need. That's heavy.
Or emergency. Because your emergency is not my emergency.
Bro, this is real major because I went through this recently, and I don't advise anybody to do what I'm going to say. Right? This is highly dangerous. Right.
Disclaimer.
Right?
Facts.
Never take off your covering and think that you got it, because you don't. Mm-hmm. That's like never take. You know what, Jesus? Let me take this off. Okay, I'm strong enough. I'm straight. I'm good. No, you're not.
No, you're not.
No, you're not.
No, you're not.
That's playing. That's what that is. That's you are exchanging your discipline for a want. That's equivalent to playing spiritual Russian roulette.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're messing with something that you don't want to be messing with. And when you the worst part about it is that when you knowingly know that you chose to step from under the covering and do something that you shouldn't be doing, that's the worst thing ever. To look back at that decision like, oh my God, and you still covered me, and you still kept me, oh my God, and you still forgave me, and you still promoted me, oh my God. So never do that. Like never. Like my discipline is not. What do you say? My discipline is not.
My discipline is not based upon your need. My discipline
is not based upon your need. That's extremely correct.
That is the realest thing ever spoken.
And I want to say this too. When I said men do it too. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
I said something about women earlier.
Right.
I want to keep it across the board, right? When a man, when a young man don't get love from his mom, he grow with issues too.
Oh yeah.
It's not just he don't know how to treat women, or he could be searching and running after feelings and stuff like that because of a void that should have been filled by the first woman who he have came encounter with. So I want to put it like that too. Remember I said earlier about the female not taking accountability.
Yep.
So both of them need to be. The parents are important.
Yeah.
The parents are important, but everything goes down to being relational. You keeping your discipline, that's being relational.
That's relationship because
That's
I'm
a
preparing
boundary.
her. Yeah, it's a
That's a boundary. Boundaries are important, bro.
Yeah. You have to teach the next generation how to, and that's the problem with society. And I was just talking with one of the coaches today, or was it yesterday? And I was like, I said I said, here's the thing about this next generation, what they don't understand. I said they're fulfilling prophecy. I said that's a part of prophecy I don't want no part of. Where the Bible talks about lasciviousness and lawlessness enter into the earth, total darkness and all this stuff. I say they're being puppets in the movie. I don't want to partake of that. I said they don't understand. I said because they don't want to, their lawlessness. Bro, what? They done had 3 shootings in 3 weeks? Dealing with police officers alone? Then there was other shootings at the prom party. It's like it's been shootings like crazy, like robbing people. It's so much going on with this next generation. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I said, I don't want to be a part of the Bible that's depicting the bad part of me. I said that's what's going on, and they don't understand it. So you have to create boundaries for them until they can create boundaries for themselves. So what we're allowing them to do is create boundaries for themselves when we should be creating them for them. Yo, and while you was talking, bro, I was thinking about it's crazy. We've had a good team. We've had a good team. We've done pretty good, but we could have done better. And when I look at it, and I adapted this saying, I said we're training our kids for battle when they should be preparing for war. Different. I said because when we got into tough games, we lose them every time. When we got into a tough physical team, we lose, bro. And I'm like, well, how? I said it's inevitable. I say we don't practice like that. I made a joke today. I said we done probably hit more times in this spring than we probably did in the last 4 years. I was being funny, but you get what I'm saying. Like practice it right now. It's very physical. And the kids are responding, which is good. They're getting dinged up, which is a byproduct of the physicality. I hate it. I love football, but I hate that part of the game. But it's a part of the process. And the kids that play that, and anybody that plays that, you know that. It's football. You're going to get hurt. It's going to hurt. So I hate that part, but the kids are responding. And the physicality of the team is going to be totally different this year. Like it's crazy. I'm loving it. But they're preparing for that now. So now there's a different response when adversity comes into the ring. I'm not the same dude that you saw yesterday. I'm not the same woman that you saw yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Because I had an opportunity to find myself. And it's all good. Because what happens is, I look at it, and we didn't talk about this, but when I look at it coming from a faith-based standpoint, when I look at adversity, bro, it's like you don't know who you are. So when you come into the sense of who you are, you look at adversity different. Because adversity shaped Christ. The Bible says through obedience. What is it? He learned obedience through the things that he suffered. That's what it was. To basically to that. You know, he don't look it up. So make sure I'm correct, even though I'm paraphrasing. So, but he was human and God at the same time, to let us know what God looked like and what we look like simultaneously. You know what I'm saying?
You was on it. It was Hebrews 5:8. Though he were a son, yet learned he obedience by the things which he suffered.
Yeah.
And being made perfect, he became the author of eternal salvation.
Became the author of eternal salvation. He wrote the book on it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? He wrote the book on it. But in order for him to write the book on it, he had to create the manuscript.
For real.
So the manuscript had to come from the life experience. You know what I'm saying? So what we're preparing for comes from the life experience. Some things you're going to observe, some things you're going to have to live by. So every experience you have is not going to have to live it out. Some of it's going to be through observance. I watched you do that. I'm not fit to do that. I watched how you responded when this happened. Man, why you talking to your dude like that? Why you talking to an old girl like that? But I thought she was a queen. I thought he was a king. You don't supposed to. I don't have to live that. I observed it. I'm not going to treat my. So when me and my wife got together, there were some things that she observed and lived out, and did the total opposite because she didn't have to live that part out. I saw this. So my homie, you know, growing up, he didn't have the greatest relationship with his father, but he's a great father. So when people use that as an excuse, I got people in my circle that's been in your position. I can make a phone call right now, dog, if you truly want to do right by your peoples, because that's just an excuse. We use excuses to stay in the state of where we are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like
the girl, like I said, the girl said, if you want to hold on to your excuses, I'm gonna let you hold on to them. I'm not gonna lose no sleep. If you want to hold on to your limitations, I mean, that's what she said. If you want to hold on to your limitations, because at the end of the day, you could do anything that God has created you with the power to do.
Yeah, he said, he said, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
The Bible says that he confounded, when they built the Tower of Babel, he had to confound their language. He had to confuse them. Because you built a tower from earth to heaven and you ain't supposed to do that.
Exactly.
Oh, now you're getting out of control. You powerful, but you ain't that powerful. Get out of here. You gotta go. You ain't supposed to be up in here. This is not the access. This is the way to access me.
They tried it. Y'all using y'all mom for the wrong thing.
Wrong thing.
You read about the wrong thing.
Let me confuse y'all. Bam.
For sure.
So it's preparedness. It comes in so many. Is some things you're gonna know what you're preparing for and still not know what you're preparing for, and then some things you just gonna have to live out the experience, like you said, in the moment. You had to live it. You had to live it out in that moment, and that's what it was. But but for the most part, man, you got to put it in the work. You got to put the practice in, man. That's why I'm constantly seeking after God, wisdom, knowledge. And God created man. Man wrote books that can help you. You know what I'm saying? People, and I'm not coming for nobody, but I'm just at the end of it is when God is everything, right? So when you just read the word, and I'm gonna tread lightly with this, because I've heard people say this, if it ain't in the Bible, I ain't reading it.
Everything is in there.
Everything's in there, but then God also gives men wisdom to pull stuff out of there that can relate to your everyday life in a situation that may not be depicted in the Bible.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
like for instance, the Bible don't teach you how to budget, but it talks about being wise stewards.
See,
so then God touches you, Alexander, and now Alexander puts a whole book together, manual that teaches you how to budget, but it ain't in the Bible.
Right. Right, because
you see what I'm saying? So look how we sound. You know what I'm saying? It's just like religious, bro. It's like, do you want to be free? Like, and it's crazy. I'm gonna let you. It's crazy because and me and Pastor was talking about. It's like we really don't understand. This is from a mature state. You really don't understand the freedom that you have. You don't understand it. You really don't understand the freedom that you have. But we stay bound because of religion. I have common sense to know, bro. I had this was what it was. I was thinking, shared this on who I was talking to. It was a pastor. It was a client of mine, and every time I went to see him, we had a good time, had a great conversation. Mom, with everything that I was into. So, but she didn't know because I was gonna buy the book, but at that time I hadn't bought it yet. So she bought it for me, and it was the book that Robert Kiyosaki and Donald Trump wrote together. And I'm like, I'm reading it, right? Boy, I'm getting nuggets out this thing. So I bring it up in the conversation with old dude, and old dude flips out. Bro, when I say dude flips out, dude like flipped out. He hated Donald Trump. Man, you see what he be doing to people? And bro, when I say he went out, bro, I literally had to leave. I literally had to leave, bro. And from that day on, I hadn't seen him since. Hadn't seen him since. I came across because we was connected with some of the same friends on Facebook. So I came across what seemed like a divorce. I'm like, well, if this is how he responds to adversity, if this is how he responds to a difference of opinion, no wonder. Like, dude flipped out. I'm like, I'm not a Donald Trump supporter. The man is a brilliant businessman. You're a businessman. So you mean to tell me you can't learn nothing from a millionaire? Come on now.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's why I said I tread lightly, but it's the truth. It's like, what if it ain't it, bro? I can't read it. You dumb. You gonna miss out on so much.
Yeah.
You gonna miss out on because surprise, it's not only 66 books, fool.
Spoiler alert.
It's not only 66 books. Or if it ain't in the Bible, and it ain't finna get into all that. But the history behind how the Bible was put together, all that stuff that it's there, and the stuff that we don't understand, what we don't really realize what we're saying. There's a scripture in the Bible itself that tells you that there's more books than what was put in the Bible. But yet we're quick to say, well, if it's not in the Bible, I'm not going to read. You do understand how the Bible was put together, right? Yes, God breathed and inspired, but man put it together. And there was intentionally stuff left out. Even if it was purposed by God. I say even if, I ain't said it was. But, because man, but whatever. Man, I was 66. So for me to say, well, if it's not in there, no. So now you're struggling. Because you can't listen from God-inspired people. The same people that God inspired to write the Bible, the scriptures, is the same that God can inspire you to write a book. The book that I wrote was God-inspired. I did not dream of writing no book. God said, here, boy, I need you to write this. Because when you write this, you're going to see what's in you. It ain't about you writing this book. It's about, you're not going to see what's in you unless you write this book. That was my journey, bro. And that's facts. Me writing that book, like you said, maybe me going to Southeastern railroaded me to Liberty.
Yeah.
Because if I never would have went to Southeastern, I never would have realized, no, I'm not supposed to be there. I'm supposed to be at Liberty.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Had I not written the book, I would have never known that. Mike, you an author. Mike, you a speaker. Mike, you're a coach. Had I not written that, so it prepared me for where I am now and for where I'm going. It prepared me for purpose. So the message that was in Mike was bigger than what Mike saw. It was bigger than Mike selling insurance. It was bigger than Mike going through the training. It was bigger than all of that. Now, Mike is going back to school for whatever the next phase is. But one is going back to school for whatever the next phase is. Alexander's going back to school for whatever the next phase is. But we're being prepared in all essence for purpose.
Yeah.
Yo, this right here is like just socked me in the nose when you was talking about how Jesus learned obedience, right? It says that means Jesus moved from untested obedience into suffering. and then through suffering into tested and proven obedience.
Mm-hmm.
That was untested obedience on your behalf, because how would you know what's inside of you unless you actually
Mm-hmm.
had to go through the process so that obedience can be proven and tested?
Mm-hmm.
It has to be tested, approved. When you think about manufacturing, when you think about products, it has to be properly tested.
Right. It has to be properly tested.
There's properly steps and there's proper preparation that has to take place in order for everything to come together.
Mm-hmm.
And when I look at this, when it says about the untested obedience, think about the obedience that we have to be willing to do that we have yet been tested by,
Mm-hmm.
even through our thought process. Because that's why we have to renew our mind day to day.
Mm-hmm.
Because us, if we see the full picture, we'll buck. We would literally buck.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you're going to go through suffering in order to get the good. You got to go through a lot of the bad, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, you get in a situation here that you ain't got to, go through that. But
little finesse.
little finesse, you know what I'm saying? little extra credit. Here you go.
Little
But-
finagle.
But ultimately, anything that you desire to be that requires more than what you want to give or willing to give, it's going to be tested.
Yeah.
It's going to be by trial by error,
Yeah. Yeah.
whether you want it to be or not.
You know, Mike, I was finna say earlier,
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
since we had brought the Bible up and when people say, I'm not going to read or do anything in the Bible, I think that's one of the hardest things though, knowing how to read the word and apply it to right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people, I think it's hard, especially if people reading the King James.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah. That's why the Bible says, "Study to show thyself approved."
You know what I mean?
So you can't just open it and it's coded. It's a coded message.
It's powerful. It's
real.
potent and powerful.
Potent and power. That's it's symbols, signs, colors. It's coded messages. And when you actually sit down and you start looking at the Greek and the Hebrew and the Latin and then all these different languages that make up the Bible, when you start separating, it's like you can be sitting there for hours and don't even realize it. And you just be soaking it in. And just be soaking it in. Because I really never paid attention until one day I was actually in a drought. I was in a drought, and then it just kind of kicked back in. And I was sitting at the kitchen table, man, I had the study Bible open, I had the concordance open, I had the regular Bible open, and I was like, oh, snap. So, and it just comes alive. The Bible is nothing but a coded message.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like I love it, bro. Like you have to like the more you read, then the more you see yourself and you see your flaws, and then you see the plan, and you see the redemption, and you see the stories, and then and the word, it hit everybody different. So we can read the same story, but all three of us will pick up something different in the same story.
Facts.
You know what I mean? It's crazy, bro. It's just wonderful, bro. I love the Bible, dog. Like, and I be thinking like, man, my girl be like, you always going deep. I can't cut it off. The only thing I'm learning now is being able to tell when to use what level of depth for what situation.
Right.
I'm getting better at it. Because she'd be like, you want chicken? You want a public supper? You want chicken? Well, if the chicken is that, don't go deep. Just I'll be like, dang.
You want a sandwich of chicken? Come on, brother.
Yeah, that's how she be. She be like, you doing too much.
This ain't a test. This ain't an exam.
You finna get some noodles if you don't tell me what you want.
You know what? Just chew on that, Al.
But yeah, I'm learning how. She be like, yeah, you tripping.
Oh, that's funny.
But I'm learning when. I'm learning when to use whatever. But now when I read the Bible, I'm like, I'm like, man, like, man, I want, like, God, I think you made my mind to work like that. So when I read this, I'm able to, like, just rip it apart, bro. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy, bro.
Yeah, that's important, man, because it's just like giving a baby a steak. You're gonna choke him.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna choke him. You know what I'm saying? So it's knowing when and knowing how. Because sometimes that stuff get good, you be ready to release, but it's like, they ain't ready.
Yeah.
Because I know, man, whew, I've been around some heavy hitters, boy. You be like, okay, let me chew on that for a couple days.
Bro, I was in church Sunday. He was coming from Romans 8. I left that mug. I was sitting in service thinking like, man, I need to study more. He going in. He's going in right now.
Oh,
Like, oh my gosh, I need to study some more, bro.
man. Yeah. But, once again, it all goes back to preparedness, man. It's like, and I was, one of the things I shared with Kiki as we get ready to get up out of here, if y'all ain't got anything else, is like when we was talking beforehand too, it's like I say it's like understand. I say because a lot of times God will reveal certain stuff to you, and you're trying to figure out, and it's like some things you just figure it out once it happens. And I was telling her about a dream that I had, and after we bought our second house, I say I toiled with that. I said because I'm looking at the house, and I saw the front of the house, pillars, everything. I saw everything, but it wasn't the color that was in the dream. I'm like, but so I'm fighting internally. Like, Isha want the house. I'm like, I'm looking at that doggone mortgage. and then the lady that the realtor, she was a Christian lady, so they in there wanted to pray. Let's pray. And I was like, yeah, okay. And I'm like, fear had done gripped me, and I'm like, man, and but I'm like, but it's not the color of what I saw, and so we ended up signing the paper. We ended up putting it in. So we got the house, and then we ended up moving, right? So I can got a story for days. So we went through this little transition where I actually sold the house, right? So when everything was going haywire, when the market was bad some years ago, we hadn't already went through that. Business was bad. Money flow was like, it's like everything. It's like no matter what we did, trying to pick up extra stuff, it wasn't working. Thinking like God hadn't abandoned me, and like it almost felt like Job wife. Why you brought it? Just curse him and die. It's like, why you brought me here? Type of it's like, man, no matter what we did, it's like, man, we was just. So I just kept moving though. I just kept moving. Ended up coming across a situation where we was able to. It was this program where we would actually sell the house back to the bank. So we sold the house actually back to the bank, and made a little something off of it. So we just went on ahead and took that kind of regroup to get our lives back together, right? Tell you how God worked, prepared purpose. So we filled out the application for these particular houses. It was a huge investment firm, owned a whole bunch of houses. So we saw a couple of houses. So we went and filled out the application, got approved, everything was fine. And but it was coming close. It was like we had to get out the house. So we hadn't already sold it. So we're looking, it's getting like tight. Like we got to make a decision like now. But it was like we wasn't really like feeling none of that. So we seen the one house we liked, which was the house was exactly like the house we just came out of. exactly like the house we just came out of. And we went in. Matter of fact, when we went in the house, we told the lady we were just trying to get the preliminaries. What? We were like, but me and you supposed to. I said we literally had the same house, so we really need to see it. It just the rooms are on the opposite. The garage is on this side instead of this side, and the rooms are on this side instead of this side. It's the same exact house. And so we're leaving. So she was like, well, okay, well, we'll get the paperwork done and we'll get you going. And yeah, we guys make the deposit. And then we was like, yeah, okay, let's do it. So we was like, and she made a phone call and she was like, no, this was a couple of days later. We got a phone call. She called. She said, I don't know what happened. She said, but the house isn't up for rent anymore. Somebody's already applied for it and got it. And I'm like, me and her, we starting to panic now because we got to go. And next day, we get another phone call. So she calls back. She said, well, hold up. She said, I went to look and into it a little bit more. She said, that's your house. She said, you guys are approved for it. We didn't fill out paperwork for that house. We filled out an application for another house. Bro, and I was just thinking about like things that we've been through over the years, just thinking about how God just prepared us for purpose, just getting bro, I promise you, me and Isha were like, we did not fill out it. And the lady she was baffled. She was like, because we didn't fill out an application for that house. But when she pulled it up and told us, she's like, I'm sorry, y'all, but somebody else got approved for the house. And it was our application.
That's crazy.
That we never filled it.
That's God.
And we've shared testimonies of our hardships during that time and things that we went through at the time that God pricked upon our heart to share it. So I guess this is for somebody tonight because I wasn't intending on going this way. But every time that we've shared a glimpse of our testimony, somebody would come up, man, we're going through that right now. We just went through that. We know some people that's going. It was God shedding light on somebody, encouraging them. So
That's crazy.
prepared purpose. A lot of times you don't know. Like bro said, sometimes it's in the moment. Sometimes you're going to live it out. Sometimes it's through observance, like I said. Some things are going to be done through observance, but it's all preparing you for something. Your job is to have the discipline enough to not quit and not give up. And Alexander said something so powerful during his struggle before he was released from his marriage. He said he didn't leave it, he was released. A lot of you guys are trying to leave stuff that God has prepared for you and has not released you yet, but you're trying to let it go. You can't let it go until he releases it for you, because when purpose is involved, you can't until he gives you that liberty to be released from it. You can throw it away, you can give it away, but until he releases you from it, you're married to it. And then once he's released you from it, then you're free to go. You're free range. But until then, it's preparing you for something that's greater than what you can imagine. But you gotta get through it. You can't just put up 100 shots. You gotta make 100 shots. So, y'all guys got anything?
Dub.
I don't know. He looked like he was looking at something, but
I got something. Preparation is the quiet confidence behind every bold step. When you've done the work, courage follows naturally. I think that if we get out our own way and out our own head, we'll be willing to do more of the work versus how it's going to be done. I think for a long time, just me personally, I've gotten better at getting out the how, as far as getting out of my own way, but there's still subtle moments that's just like, God, how is this going to happen? How is this going to work out? Trust is following through the whole entire process and understanding that I'm good with whatever happened because I know he got me still. And sometimes you have to remind yourself of what he's brought you out from. Use that as a reminder, as a gauge, that he's always going to take care of you, that he's always going to fulfill his promises. But don't put a halt on what God wants to do through you. Don't allow yourself to be frustrated through fear, through doubt, through uncertainty. Allow God to breathe upon whatever it is that you're trying to work towards. And trust the process. From a natural point of view, like you have to trust the process. And you still have to do the work. You know, there's no negating it. But just get with a group of people that can help you do the work, that wants to see you do the work. Because it's going to take a village.
And they gonna get on your nerves.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm trying to tell you, I always say this. I'm gonna keep saying it. I ain't never got cussed out. Until you get until you get cussed out with no curse words and no foul language, it hit mad different.
And he still meant business.
My man has gave me the business professionally. I was like, oh snap! I don't know how to feel. Oh Lord!
Oh Lord!
But it helped me.
Oh my gosh!
It really helped me. You know what I mean? Like, you need people who be like, "Oh, you tripping, bro?" Like, you know what I'm saying? And then they also can have empathy
Yeah.
with what you got going on, because you can't give somebody the business and don't be empathetic with them either. You can't do that. Like, you ain't got no sympathy, like what you, because you done been here before too. I know. That's why I'm telling you this. You know what I mean? So you need those people in your corner, because they gonna help you out.
Yeah.
Big facts.
Yeah.
They're going to reveal your blind spots. And everybody needs someone to reveal their blind spots.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, man, once again, man, we thank y'all for tuning in on tonight. Just always remember that you're being prepared for greatness and be disciplined enough to get through your go through. And so y'all know how we like to get up out of here. Man, shoot for the top, because the bottom is way too crowded. And if you think different and be different, you have the opportunity to live different. And once again, we'll see you on the other side of success. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.